Today, we are going to compare Kandao Coolcam in VR 180 with the Lenovo Mirage and the Zcam K1 Pro, two other VR 180 cameras certified by Google VR 180 program. If you want to get Coolcam mainly for the 3D production, you need to know what is the 3D stereoscopic quality of this camera compared to other popular 3D 180 cameras. Instead of telling you, I'm going to show you in true VR 180. So put on your favorite VR headset and let's compare the results. Hey, what's up everybody? It's your boy Hugh here from Creator Hub. If you are wondering which camera I am shooting right now, I am shooting with the Zcam K1 Pro. So, turns out lots of people consider purchasing the Coolcam is for the 3D 180. Before we start the testing, let's make sure you know the best practices of shooting VR 180. First, if your Coolcam is not on a VR 180 mode, turn it like this to turn on into VR 180 mode. Then, make sure your Coolcam is on a solid monopod. And the horizon line is level. You can use a bubble leveler like this one right here and attach it like so, like this, on the Coolcam body to make sure the camera is level. Third, try to get your hand off the camera. You don't want your hand be in your frame. You can use your phone or Bluetooth controller to control the camera remotely. I will put the recommended Bluetooth remote controller down in the description below. Okay, if you are ready, let's get started. First, we have the Kandao Coolcam. Please close attention to the resolution chart right here and find out how sharp is the camera. The resolution chart right here is exactly 3 feet away from the camera. So it's a really good distance right here. So look at the resolution chart. And then I also look down. If you look down, you see the measuring tape below you. And I place different objects in different distance to the 3 cameras right there. So the first one, the rubber ducky, is exactly half foot away from the camera. Very close. And then the first monkey is 1 foot away from the camera. The second monkey right there is 2 feet away from the camera, and then the resolution chart and this scrolling to do is 3 feet away from the camera. And myself, my face is about 4 feet away from the camera. And then I walk back, and here is 5 feet away from the camera. To illustrate like what's the distance toward the camera and what is the stereo disparity and stereo quality, I have this little focal chart right here. I put it like straight to the camera. That is 3 feet away from the camera. And now I move up. Right here is 2 feet away from the camera. And then I keep moving up. Right here, 1 foot away from the camera. And then right here is half foot away from the camera. And then I'm moving, really close to the camera. You should have massive close eye right now. And then I can move away slowly. So see from which point your eyes become normal again. So the next thing we want to find out is what is the field of view of all 3 of this camera. So I'm gonna walk, carrying my chart, walk toward this way. So you should watch it in the VR headset again. And now I'm about 160 degrees from the camera. And then I keep walking, 170. Hopefully you can still see my Oculus Go headset and my DSLR right here. And then I keep walking. I'm close to the 180 line. I should be entirely out of frame right now in all of the camera. So I walk back. You see right here. Pay attention to this like object right here. This amazing steel drum right here. Check it out. See how good is the far distance resolution. My wide focus right here. And then I walk this way. Same idea. This time closer, you see at which point I'm be out of frame. 160 right now, 180, entire out of frame. Coming back, 180, 160, 150, and then back to the center point. So, hopefully you see the test result, you get the idea. Before moving on to the next camera, I want to point out that latest Coolcam Studio significantly improved the image quality of the Coolcam footage. As you see, the exact same footage stitched with the older version of Coolcam Studio is a lot softer and muddier than the latest 1.1.2. So if you want to maximize the image quality of your Coolcam in VR180, make sure you are on the latest Coolcam Studio and the latest firmware, and use their color correction features. Next, we have the Zcam K1 Pro. Unlike the introduction of this video, this K1 Pro footage is ungraded with the original sRGB, which means this is what you will get when you first unbox this camera. Just to be fair. But it is hardly fair, because this camera is a lot more expensive professional level VR180 camera with Micro Four Thirds sensors. Oh, and special thanks to Radiant Images for lending me this camera to do the testing. This is also the older version of the K1 Pro. The new version will have the Izuga MKX22 fisheye lens, which is a way better lens. If you are considering buying this camera, don't be that sucker and buy it now on B&H. Just wait for the better version to come out. And don't say that I don't want you. I'm always looking out for my viewers, so you can save money and get the best gears. Okay, back to the testing. Pay attention to the resolution chart. It is a lot clearer, and in general, image quality is very pleasing, even without color grading. The K1 Pro is a little bit soft though compared to Coolcam or even Mirage. But I know you can really increase the sharpness in post-production. But let's focus on the stereo quality of subjects in a different distance now. I will let you be the judge, as different people see 3D in different quality. If you are still not in a VR headset, well, you can't see the 3D quality without the headset. Just to point out in general, the disparity of K1 Pro in the same distance is smaller than Coolcam or Mirage, which to me is more pleasing to my eyes. You don't need a large disparity to see 3D, and subtleness is better, at least from my personal perspective. Also, something very interesting, when I move the resolution card closer to the camera, even though K1 Pro is very sharp in the 2 feet and 1 foot marks, it went out of focus sooner than Coolcam. Go back and see the Coolcam again and do the comparison. Luckily, nothing will be very useful in such a close distance. Here is the FOV test of the K1 Pro. Again, look down, you see the degree chart to help you pinpoint how wide is the camera. And the K1 Pro is wider than Mirage or Coolcam. It really gets the full 180 degrees. Also, please pay close attention to the stereo quality decrease when I close to the left or right edges. Vertical parallels start to appear around the edges in any VR180 cameras. So I would suggest keeping your main subject within 150 degrees will be a safe bet to not causing stereo headache of your viewers. Next, we have the Lenovo Mirage. If you pay close attention to the resolution chart, you see the Mirage has just a slightly sharper image than the Coolcam. It is probably the extra pixel from the Mirage footage. If you don't know, the original fisheye footage is in 4K in 16:9 ratio, not 2:1. You can learn more in my Mirage reviews video. So there are extra vertical pixels that might help increase the resolution slightly when it's squeezed down to 2:1 by the official Google VR180 Creator 2. Also, the new version of the VR180 Creator 2 offers DNxHR non-compressed output, which preserves the original image quality better than the compressed H.264 generated by the Coolcam Studio. So hopefully Kandao can take notes after they watch this video and offer non-compressed intermediate codecs like GoPro Cineform, DNxHR, or even the ProRes. The dynamic range though, Mirage is the worst among all three cameras. Just look at the window outside of my house on your left. You see the outside is pretty much blown out, and the shadow under the sink is pretty much gone. So it is not recommended to use this camera on any dynamic lighting situation or low light. So in terms of stereo quality, Google VR 180 Creator 2 does generate beautiful stereo without vertical parallax. Compared to all three cameras, Mirage does has the large stereo disparity. It makes close-up objects very uncomfortable to the eyes. Pay attention to the rubber ducky, which in the distance that you will never want to put in any stereo production. This is just for illustration purposes. In both QooCam and K1 Pro, I need to cross-eye to really see it. But in Mirage, it is even harder no matter how cross-eyes I make myself. Maybe you can see it in a headset, but I just really can't. This might be due to the IPT distance of this camera. I don't want to be a hardcore stereo nerd here to explain stereoscopic budget and all the theories. You can simply Google it and learn it yourself from Wikipedia. Okay, after this torture test of the resolution card up against your face, let's check out the FOV of Lenovo Mirage. It seems like the Mirage also does not really give you the true VR 180 degrees, but it is slightly bigger than the QooCam. Not by much though. The K1 Pro still has the widest field of view among all three cameras. Next, we have 3D 180 photo comparison. The first one is from the QooCam in max out 4K resolution. I know the rubber ducky in half foot, 15 centimeters, make your eyes incredibly uncomfortable, so stop staring at the ducky and look to the resolution chart in 3 feet and everything behind it. Also, the flower on your right. You see, QooCam does generate very pleasing 3D in photos. And not like everybody tell you, the 3D photo is very good with good dynamic range and sharp image. Now back to the rubber ducky. Try to cross-eye and see it. You can still do it, at least I can. And close-up images are in good focus, as you can see from the resolution chart by closing one eye. Okay, you think the rubber ducky in QooCam is bad? Let's take a look at the Lenovo Mirage, which is in 6K, higher resolution 3D photos, stitched with the brand new version of the Google VR 180 Creator 2. Now in the exact same distance, the rubber ducky is killing my eyes now. I did my best to cross my eyes, but no, this is too much. Even the first monkey in 1 foot, 30 centimeters is bad. Now close one of your eyes and check the close resolution chart. You see the chart is out of focus and blurry. So, in this extreme demonstration, you know for sure now QooCam is way better on handling subject in close-up, both in stereo quality and sharpness. In terms of image quality, the 6K image from Mirage does not offer much improvement in sharpness, at least to my eyes when I look at the resolution chart in the back. The dynamic range again is bad. The color is oversaturated and does not allow much room for Photoshop. So for 3D 180 photo, I would much prefer QooCam. Not to mention I can change the focus of the QooCam 3D 180 photos. Thank you for watching this QooCam VR 180 testing video. I hope you find this helpful. I'm creating some VR 180 dance video and hope you guys can go check it out soon and give me some support. The next review is about low light comparison of the Kendall QooCam. So don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and give me a like and a thumb up if you find this video helpful. And watch this whole thing with your Oculus Go VR headset. I will post the same video on my Facebook page and my VR page, so you can view it with the Facebook 360 app or the VR app on Oculus Go. Please don't forget to share this video because sharing is loving. And I will see you next time.